A reading from the book of Leviticus, chapter 18. The Lord told Moses to say to the people of Israel, I am the Lord your God. Do not follow the practices of the people of Egypt where you once lived, or of the people in the land of Canaan where I am now taking you. Obey my laws and do what I command. I am the Lord your God. Follow the practices and the laws that I give you. You will save your life by doing so. I am the Lord. The Lord gave the following regulations. Do not have sexual intercourse with any of your relatives. Do not disgrace your father by having intercourse with your mother. You must not disgrace your own mother. Do not disgrace your father by having intercourse with any of his other wives. Do not have intercourse with your sister or your stepsister, whether or not she was brought up in the same house with you. Do not have intercourse with your granddaughter. That would be a disgrace to you. Do not have intercourse with a half-sister. She, too, is your sister. Do not have intercourse with an aunt, whether she is your father's sister or your mother's sister. Do not have intercourse with your uncle's wife. She, too, is your aunt. Do not have intercourse with your daughter-in-law or with your brother's wife. Do not have intercourse with the daughter or granddaughter of a woman with whom you have had intercourse. They may be related to you, and that would be incest. Do not take your wife's sister as one of your wives as long as your wife is living. Do not have intercourse with a woman during her monthly period because she is ritually unclean. Do not have intercourse with another man's wife. That would make you ritually unclean. Do not hand over any of your children to be used in the worship of the god Molech, because that would bring disgrace on the name of God, the Lord. No man is to have sexual relations with another man. God hates that. No man or woman is to have sexual relations with an animal. That perversion makes you ritually unclean. Do not make yourselves unclean by any of these acts, for that is how the pagans made themselves unclean. Those pagans who lived in the land before you, and whom the Lord is driving out so that you can go in. Their actions made the land unclean, and so the Lord is punishing the land and making it reject the people who lived there. They did all these disgusting things and made the land unclean, but you must not do them. All of you, whether Israelites or foreigners living with you, must keep the Lord's laws and commands, and then the land will not reject you as it rejected the pagans who lived there before you. You know that whoever does any of these disgusting things will no longer be considered one of God's people. And the Lord said, Obey the commands I give, and do not follow the practices of the people who lived in the land before you, and do not make yourselves unclean by doing any of these things. I am the Lord your God. The word of the Lord. A reading from the book of Leviticus, chapter 19. The Lord told Moses to say to the community of Israel, Be holy, because I, the Lord your God, am holy. Each of you must respect your mother and your father, and must keep the Sabbath as I have commanded. I am the Lord your God. Do not abandon me and worship idols. Do not make gods of metal and worship them. I am the Lord your God. When you kill an animal for a fellowship offering, keep the regulations that I have given you, and I will accept the offering. The meat must be eaten on the day the animal is killed, or on the next day. Any meat left on the third day must be burned, because it is ritually unclean, and if anyone eats it, I will not accept the offering. Any who eat it will be guilty of treating as ordinary what is dedicated to me, and they will no longer be considered my people. When you harvest your fields, do not cut the grain at the edges of the fields, and do not go back to cut the heads of grain that were left. Do not go back through your vineyard to gather the grapes that were missed, or to pick up the grapes that have fallen. Leave them for poor people and foreigners. I am the Lord your God. Do not steal, or cheat, or lie. Do not make a promise in my name if you do not intend to keep it. That brings disgrace on my name. I am the Lord your God. Do not rob or take advantage of anyone. Do not hold back the wages of someone you have hired, not even for one night. Do not curse the deaf or put something in front of the blind so as to make them stumble over it. Obey me. I am the Lord your God. Be honest and just when you make decisions in legal cases. Do not show favoritism to the poor or fear the rich. Do not spread lies about anyone, and when someone is on trial for his life, speak out if your testimony can help him. I am the Lord. Do not bear a grudge against others, but settle your differences with them so that you will not commit a sin because of them. Do not take revenge on others or continue to hate them, but love your neighbors as you love yourself. I am the Lord. Obey my commands. Do not crossbreed domestic animals. Do not plant two kinds of seed in the same field. Do not wear clothes made of two kinds of material. If a slave woman is the recognized concubine of a man, and she has not been paid for and freed, then if another man has sexual relations with her, they will be punished, but not put to death, since she is a slave. The man shall bring a ram to the entrance of the tent of my presence as his repayment offering, and with it the priest shall perform the ritual of purification to remove the man's sin, and God will forgive him. When you come into the land of Canaan and plant any kind of fruit tree, consider the fruit ritually unclean for the first 3 years. During that time you must not eat it. In the 4th year, all the fruit shall be dedicated as an offering to show your gratitude to me, the Lord. But in the 5th year, you may eat the fruit. If you do all this, your trees will bear more fruit. I am the Lord your God. Do not eat any meat with blood still in it. Do not practice any kind of magic. Do not cut the hair on the sides of your head or trim your beard, or tattoo yourselves, or cut gashes in your body to mourn for the dead. I am the Lord. Do not disgrace your daughters by making them temple prostitutes. If you do, you will turn to other gods, and the land will be full of immorality. Keep the Sabbath and honor the place where I am worshipped. I am the Lord. Do not go for advice to people who consult the spirits of the dead. If you do, you will be ritually unclean. I am the Lord your God. Show respect for old people and honor them. Reverently obey me. I am the Lord. Do not mistreat foreigners who are living in your land. Treat them as you would an Israelite, and love them as you love yourselves. Remember that you were once foreigners in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Do not cheat anyone by using false measures of length, weight, or quantity. Use honest scales, honest weights, and honest measures. I am the Lord your God, and I brought you out of Egypt. Obey all my laws and commands. I am the Lord. The word of the Lord.